I want to know why you get the good mic.
Because I deserve it. All right. I like it.
Ready?
Yeah, probably should have seen how that looks next to me, but the mic.
Those wires kind of suck hanging off of that thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I found something that really is just terrible. There is a bad side to this and a good side to this, and we'll start with the bad side, is that it just is terrible that schools have to go through this. I cannot believe we live in a world where schools have to have a fire drill. Okay, perfect. You have to have a fire drill. Some areas of the country, you're going to need a tornado drill as well. That's in the hallway.
Yeah, sit in the hallway like we used to do.
That?
The tornado would just go through the middle looking for the kids, and we're all tucked away.
It won't touch us if we're sitting in the hallway.
Yeah. Crisscross applesauce. Tornadoes don't understand that.
But the other part is active shooter training is what schools are doing right here in Washington County, but not just Washington County, all around the country. And it is terrible that they have to do it in the first place, but it's a good thing that they are taking the necessary precautions in the first place. That way, if it, God forbid, ever happened, the kids and the faculty know what to do.
And they've been doing it for, nearly a decade, you said?
Just here in Washington County.
That's ahead of the curve.
No kidding.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but for them to be doing it for that long, it's good preparation.
So Mark Warden, he's the chief deputy with the Washington County Sheriff's Office here in Ohio, and he gives me a call, and he says, I really want to get you into our next training, and we want you to not only be there just for a news story, but we want you to get the full experience. And
right.
I was like, all right. So it's a 2-day process. Jacob, day one, they get everybody together in the gymnasium. And then you got Warden down on the floor, and he's just answering questions, telling them what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. And basically it's, in preparation to what comes the following day. And day two, the actual drill starts. Now, this isn't a drill like you would assume a drill to be. If there's a fire drill, you hear it. You go outside.
Right.
If there's a tornado drill, that's a different sound. Then you get in the hallway and hunker down, put your head between your legs or whatever. This is a little different. Yes, there are sounds, but they are much different and much scarier. But, back comes that bittersweet thing again. Bitter that it has to be done, but sweet that these kids know what they're doing and they're getting the full experience of how it could sound and potentially how it could look up to certain standards. But actual blank gunshots were fired in that school.
I saw the video Brett had shown me when it actually happened.
Did you see it?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
When are we going to run that? We going to throw that on now?
Yeah. Okay, so we're sitting in the classroom.
Sitting in the classroom, and from what I saw, everybody's kind of preparing. They know that it's going to happen because, of course, you can't surprise the kids, but they don't know where.
Right. And then they see the 30-year-old guy that they saw yesterday standing in the gym come into their classroom and sit down and like, all right, this is about to go down.
Right. And from what I see, it's still kind of the giggling. People are like, shh, be quiet, get ready. And like you said, when they fire off those gunshots, everybody kind of realized the severity. Yeah, I mean, it's great that they do it, and from what I saw, the response time was pretty good, right?
25 seconds is what Mark Warden, the chief deputy with the Sheriff's Office here in Washington County, that's what he said. That's pretty much the norm for the most of the schools in the county. So Frontier High School is certainly on par with what's going on and how to react. But,
it's unbelievable.
Since he wanted me to get the full experience, I can only assume that's why he put the staged gunman outside of the classroom I was in. Mr. Reinard's 8th grade social studies class, by the way.
8th grade. Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's unbelievable.
They put me they put me in there. They were prepping for a quiz the next day.
You look like Billy Madison sitting in the classroom. Yeah, from what I had heard, there was a first-time person as well, right? The Spanish teacher.
Yeah, Alejandra Avalos was her name. Very sweet person to talk to.
Better pronunciation than I could have done. I wouldn't have been able to knock that out.
You're welcome. It was tough getting that story out, too, because we had to stop and say, if you're just joining us, this was a test. Because some of our sentences in our news story were sort of
eerie,
pushing
to say the
towards the
least.
fact that there was a shooting when there wasn't, because it was just a test. But we had to stop and say live on the radio that this was just a precautionary measure done by the sheriff's office to try and help.
Yeah, you don't want to do like the War of the Worlds scene
yeah.
to where, everybody starts freaking out. Because like I said, as we were reading it, I was doing the afternoon news. You would put the story together, you think, and you had made the note to me to, hey, remind people. Because halfway through, we get in the motions of putting out the story.
Right.
And you think, God forbid, somebody had tuned in and they have, someone either at the school, or I have no family ties for anybody there, but nobody wants to hear that.
And that's just covering our backs, too, because,
Right.
if somebody joins the radio station in the middle of a news story and they only hear two things, that's exactly how rumors get started. I heard...
People love rumors.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Man.
Then they feed off of them, and
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't help, but we certainly appreciate you watching this here.
They're like, that Brett Wharf said, I heard him. He said it. No. But, yeah, we definitely do appreciate the first responders and everybody that did the great work. So,
Did a
yeah.
wonderful job. And Frontier students did a wonderful job as well. Shout out to you. Good job all around. A way to take direction and way to stay on your toes.
And speaking of great work, here recently, Candy Waite, we had put it out, the Hall Financial Giving Foundation, I believe, gave a freezer and refrigerator. If you see, we're posting this out on our pages, so you could look at the most recent post. We have them pinned to the top, but we'll probably pin this as well, the video. But they had received a new commercial freezer and refrigerator.
Here's a shot of that.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful stuff. I had went and seen it. I took those photos, and he had, Brett Bronsky, I believe, was the gentleman's name, and he gave me the perfect quote, and he said, it's easy as a company to write a check for a national organization, whatever that organization may be, we all know, and just be done with it and say, hey, I crossed it off. Our company gives back. We're philanthropists. But they gave back to something that's so significant. And like he said, all the praise went to Jeff and Candy Waite, because Candy, as you know, is selfless.
Oh, my gosh.
As a person can be.
The sweetest.
And, I don't think she realizes the impact that she makes. I mean, she knows how hard she works, but just how the community feels about her to do stuff like this, to where that was the first thing that they had thought is, man, how can we help Candy and Jeff?
Yeah, well, they did a great job. BB, Brett Bronsky, way to be. Very cool stuff. That whole organization put together, very young organization, but,
Right.
They are doing big things already, and that is the way we like to do it.
And we had put in, to give credit in our story, the other gentlemen's names, Chris Hall and a couple other people and their wives were the ones that this past January he had said put this together. And more power to him, and get the ball rolling, because, Johnny likes to do stuff like that. He's been doing it for decades, from what people said. Make an impact in the community. Hey, philanthropy's philanthropy. I can't say anything, but the help is needed here, for sure.
So that's probably about going to do it for us. We certainly appreciate you watching. Keep an eye on us, because we'll be back around the corner. You already know that.
Yeah, other little news. Myles Garrett. Just, you can't be hitting people over the head with bricks and handlebars. Yes,
bricks and handlebars, that's a little far, isn't it?
Yeah, and Mason Rudolph started it. I know. We know he did. I got the little backlash for that, for people wanting to remind me. I'm like, I'm a Browns fan. I don't like Mason Rudolph.
By the way, Elon Musk's truck looks like something I drew in 3rd grade.
Man.
Room for improvement.